Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still trying to recuperate from the trauma and the physical injuries after the encounter with the thugs that robbed me of my gadgets. And after that incident is when you realize that there are more complications. Ribs are painful, and you realize that there were some places that were beaten that you didn't even realize. So I had to go for checkup. But I thank God that I'm alive. I'm trying to recuperate well, but I still have a lot of pain in the whole body. See, at first I could only feel the pain in the leg. That is the place that was hit by some blunt object. But then I realized that I had all over the body. It was painful. I think I received a lot of harsh treatment from them, and they went with all the gadgets. I've borrowed a phone here. The camera is not very clear, and I still continue with the contribution. And I really want to thank those who have responded. I think I only need about 5,000. If I can get that, then I know tomorrow I'll get a good phone for those who have responded. Thank you very, very much. Now, I have just realized that William Ruto is indirectly or has indirectly instructed CJ Koome to ensure that the housing levy is reinstated back in form. After the Court of Appeal humiliated the government by declaring, just as the High Court did, that the housing levy is very much unconstitutional and very discriminatory, Ruto vowed to continue with it. In fact, he said that this is a way of creating jobs to the hustlers, and there's been a crafted narrative. If you look at all the Kenya Kwanza team, they're asking the over 150,000 employees, they say that they had created jobs for them, so they're asking where will they go to. And so what shocked me is that the Speaker, the National Assembly, led by the Speaker, Moses Wetangula, have decided that they're going to the Supreme Court against this ruling, and they're inviting the Supreme Court for interpretation against the ruling of the Court of Appeal. And from the onset, you can see what is happening. When the three arms of the government were ordered to State House to have a meeting that was being chaired by William Ruto himself, Wetangula was representing the legislature, CJ Koome was representing the Judiciary, and of course William Ruto was representing the executive. The executive has been bullying all the other two arms of the government. And they told us that they had agreed to work together, and they had agreed that moving forward, William Ruto and of course even the legislators were going to obey court orders. But immediately after that meeting, and after the appellate court ruled against William Ruto, he vowed to disobey the court orders. So there's something that I just realized is happening here. When they had their meeting in the State House, William Ruto instructed Madam Martha Koome to ensure that all his bills go through. But it seems to me that Martha Koome has got no authority over the other judges. She's lost grip over the other judges. And this is why they're trying so hard so that William Ruto can take this case to the next level. You know, the Supreme Court, there are only 7 judges who had given Ruto victory in the 2022 presidential case against Raila Amolo Odinga. And so these are people who have worked together. These are people who understand each other. And if this case, like Wetangula says, that they are going to the Supreme Court for more interpretation, then William Ruto is going his way. Because it seems to me the other judges are pissed off. Martha Koome has got some cordial relationship, a working relationship between her and William Samoei Ruto. But the other judges, are not taking it lightly that William Ruto decided to intimidate and issue threats. So William Ruto knows very well that together with Martha Koome, they have lost grip against the judges, and so they are taking it to a more friendly environment, which is the Supreme Court. You see, the Supreme Court, as currently constituted, is Ruto's authority. So they are going to give Ruto whatever Ruto wants. We can also see very clearly that there is state capture. They've made a lot of noise. I've seen Kibani Chunga say that there was a lot of state capture in the previous regime. But what we are witnessing today is more than a state capture. In fact, state capture is an understatement. If Moses Wetangula himself, a Speaker of the National Assembly, a person that has been given a mandate by the people of Kenya to serve all the people equally, can now make a move to go to the Supreme Court, it tells you that he is working for William Ruto. He's lost his vision and his mission as a National Assembly Speaker. Of course, we have seen him before trying to frustrate the opposition in terms of replacement when Sabina Chege was supposed to be replaced as a chief whip with the Bakatsi West Member of Parliament, Mwenje. Moses Wetangula took people, from one corner to the other until pressure was too much. So this has been his mission, and this is the reason why William Ruto wanted to have a majority of parliamentarians, both in the Senate and the National Assembly, and they wanted the speakers. So Moses Wetangula has reduced himself to a spanner boy being sent by William Ruto to achieve his mission. So whoever is going to Supreme Court, it's not Moses Wetangula. This is William Ruto under the guise of the National Assembly. So the Judiciary and the National Assembly have been captured. This is the height of state capture that we have never witnessed before. I don't know what you think, but what do you make out of the fact that Moses Wetangula is the one who is going to the Supreme Court? We have the Attorney General who should be representing the government. We have the government lawyers, but they have decided to send Moses Wetangula. And you wonder, I know most are going to say that they passed this in Parliament, but now the Supreme Court is going against it. But we've seen what is happening. This is state capture, and it tells you that these independent institutions are only independent on paper. They are not. I know many people ask, I'm dragging this like I'm stammering. I still have this in the lips as a result of that incident. I'm trying to drag a bit. It also tells me that the future of this country is very bleak, because we have a president who has decided that he's not going to obey orders. I remember Koome herself was telling William Ruto that you are going to plunge this nation into anarchy, a banana republic. That is exactly where we are going. That is exactly where we are headed. And Madam Koome is aiding this, helping William Ruto to disobey the court orders. If she had stood firm, if she had refused to go to State House for that meeting, maybe William Ruto would have known that these people have got a common stand, that they are not going to take it lightly that a president is intimidating and trying to threaten the judges. But she had coiled her tail, and she's simply telling us that they have a deal between the two of them. My last point is very simple. If these 2 or 3 officers are going to behave this way, then what do you think about 2027? Because William Ruto, if you ask me, is dented, and the people are going to vote against him in 2027. All the civil servants are really pissed off because the teachers were deducted despite a court order, this housing levy. Parliamentarians were deducted, and of course, I think all the civil servants were deducted despite a court order, despite the fact that Federation of Kenyan Employees had instructed employers not to remit this housing levy to the government. But I think the threats have really rained on them, and they decided to allow the government to deduct this. So over 900,000 employees, civil servants, will vote against William Ruto because William Ruto is forcing things down their throat. But the relationship between William Ruto and Martha Koome is one that is going to plunge this country into chaos. Because even if people are going to vote against William Ruto, if William Ruto grips the hands of the IEBC commissioners and the chairman announces him as the winner, then they will tell people to go to court, and you know what that means. If this case reaches the Supreme Court, with the threats and the friendship that they have, they will still overrule the opposition. And this is something that the Raila team, the Azimio, must really work hard on to ensure that when Kenyans reject William Ruto, because that is exactly what is going to happen, he will try all the machinations, bribery, reducing the cost of living in 2026 to be popular, because he's really become very unpopular. But Kenyans are tired and they're still going to vote against him. That is the voice of the church. They have decided they're not going to tolerate him. The hustlers are speaking against him. The mamambogas, Central that voted for him, are beginning to make a U-turn. But he has an upper hand in the Supreme Court. This is why they've taken this case there. The opposition must work hard to ensure that as they go there, they protect their votes and they force Martha Koome and the team to rule in accordance with the law. We are waiting to see what exactly the Supreme Court is going to do, because these are the judges that William Ruto was accused of being corrupt. Ahmed Nasir mentioned some of them. So we wait and see. But if you ask me, I'm deeply convinced that the Supreme Court, the environment in the Supreme Court is very friendly to William Ruto. I don't know what you think. Again, please help me achieve the target so that I can get maybe some good gadgets for shooting. This one is a bit faint and a bit opaque. That's my check, ladies and gentlemen.